In this video, I'm going to be reviewing my recent flight in Singapore Airlines business class on board the Boeing 787 Dreamliner from Ho Chi Minh City, or as it's otherwise known, Saigon in Vietnam, to Singapore on my recent journey in March 2025. If you enjoy the video, please subscribe. Our journey today is from Saigon's Tan Son Nhat Airport to Singapore Changi Airport and clocks in at nearly 1,100 kilometers and just under 2 hours in the air. The flight today departs from Saigon Airport Terminal 2, and whilst check-in was super smooth with barely a queue, unfortunately immigration took a lot longer and there was no separate line for business class passengers. Having cleared immigration, I went to the Saigonese Lounge, which is the lounge KrisFlyer uses in Saigon Airport. It was a short walk, up the escalators, past the Burger King, and then in the back you have the entrance to the lounge. Honestly, this lounge was fairly decent. It did get a little bit crowded, but I was still able to get a seat. Food was served buffet style, and I got some Thai pork belly, some Vietnamese chicken, and some rice with various condiments, including peanuts. For my second plate, I got a little bit more of the Thai pork because it was delicious, and also some fish with a sauce. They described it as Baja fish, but I'm not sure exactly what that was. From the back of the lounge, we got a clear view of the Boeing 787 that's going to take us back home to Singapore. What a sight. I left things a little bit late, and when I arrived, they were already boarding. As you can see, the queue was quite long, but there was a separate line for business class passengers, so I was able to board straight away. Let's get on the plane. I took my seat and had a look around. This is Singapore Airlines' regional business class, but it's still very spacious and is in a 1-2-1 configuration, so they don't cram it in here. I wasn't drinking today, so I asked for a glass of orange juice. They did have champagne on offer though, if you wanted it. The seat is controlled by these electronic buttons, and the in-flight entertainment is controlled by a touchscreen remote control. To the side of the seat is a very spacious table and a separate storage compartment with USB-A style chargers and a universal power socket. In there they put a bottle of water, the menu, and the headphones. The flight today was pretty full, and so most seats were occupied. As you can see here, there's the 1-2-1 configuration. My seat today was 17A. I've said this before when reviewing this cabin. The seat is way too narrow relative to the side table, which is huge. Why couldn't they have just made the side table a little bit smaller and the seat a little bit larger? I'm not a huge guy, but I found this cramped. Thankfully, the plane was still looking modern and fresh, and the finishings were looking good. Here's a side table reading light. I'm happy to report that post-COVID, Singapore Airlines has returned to paper-based menus. The dinner menu for tonight's flight is on the right. I selected the Vietnamese grilled pork with crab cake, which I'll review later in the video. For drinks, despite being a regional flight, Singapore Airlines still stocks a full bar, and they had vintage champagne, 3 different types of white wine, various red wines, and also a fortified wine or port. This is a very generous bar selection, considering the flight is barely 2 hours long. The headphones in this cabin are Singapore Airlines' own branded headphones and are noise cancelling. These are very comfortable, although after 2 hours, they were starting to irritate my ear a little bit.
Welcome aboard Singapore Airlines. As the safety equipment in this aircraft may differ from that of other aircraft, please give us your attention as we bring you through this important safety briefing and on a journey through Singapore.
As Singapore Airlines' iconic safety video played, we began our pushback from the gate. This was very efficient. It was barely 20 minutes after I'd stepped on the plane.
We hope you have a great time on board as well as in Singapore or anywhere else in the world we take you.
Honestly, I love that video. It never gets tired of me watching it. After barely any time at all, we were ready for takeoff. I'm going to speed this up a little bit so as not to bore you. As we continued our ascent, I enjoyed the great views looking down onto Saigon by night below. This is a short flight, so the crew jumped into action serving our dinner. Starters was a prawn Caesar salad. This was a decent size, not too big, not too small, and came with a small pot of Caesar dressing on the side, so you could put it on according to your taste. Honestly, not bad. They used real Parmesan cheese, and the prawns were fresh. For my main course, I ordered the Vietnamese grilled pork with crab cakes and rice. I'll be honest, when it came out, I was a little bit disappointed. This doesn't look that appetizing. However, the taste was spot on. Really tasty, the pork was incredibly succulent, and the rice, really good. One thing that caught me off guard is the garlic bread. Does Singapore Airlines do a different version of garlic bread out of Vietnam? This was green, and not at all like what their garlic bread looks like. It also tasted different. It was insanely garlicky, like really bitingly garlicky when you bite into it. Like a punch in the face of garlic. That said, I really enjoyed this. I didn't think Singapore Airlines' garlic bread could be improved, but whoever they used for catering this, it's better. There's no two words about it. It's better. At this point, I realized I'd accidentally eaten the dessert without filming it, so take my word for it, it was a green tea opera cake. Then I decided to go to the bathroom and check it out. As you can see here, it's a decent size with plenty of spare room, and they did nice touches like putting these flowers on the wall. Most impressively, they have Penhaligon's toiletries available, including an eau de toilette, a face mist, and a hand moisturizer. Penhaligon's is a high-end London brand, so Singapore Airlines certainly didn't skimp here. They also provided several amenities for you, such as toothbrush, shaver, and comb. For a regional flight, this is really impressive, and it has everything that you need. After a quick visit here, I popped back to my seat. By this point, the flight maybe had about 45 minutes left until landing, so I just settled in, relaxed, and watched a bit of a film, until the captain came on board to announce we were descending into Singapore. As I was on the left-hand side of the plane, I got a really nice view into Singapore as we began our descent. As before, I'll speed up the descent so as not to bore you. Oof, that was a bumpy landing. It kind of threw me back in my seat. I wasn't expecting it. After a short journey to the gate, we arrived in Singapore Changi Terminal 3. As usual for Changi Airport, there was absolutely no queue at immigration, and I was through, honestly, in just under a minute. I was travelling hand luggage only today, so I walked straight from immigration to a waiting taxi and was on my way back to the city. One of the things I love about Singapore Airlines is that even when you're flying a regional flight, some as short as 1 hour, I believe with the exception of a Kuala Lumpur flight, you get the full service. 3-course meal, drinks, brilliant service on the ground and in the air. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend this flight, and I will be taking it again in the future. Solid job, Singapore Airlines.